welcome. My name is Ali, and today we are playing with Yoga for Resilience. I'd like if you could have a strap or something similar, like a belt is gonna work fine, or a dog leash. And if you don't have that, we can make it work too. And then a blanket or a towel. A towel works just fine, a blanket. So we'll be playing with those two things today. And I'll just give you a second to kind of round up those. And then when you're ready, take a comfortable seat. We'll start seated. And you want to do your best to sit tall. And sit any way that's comfortable for you. So up on a blanket, or if you like to sit on your heels. And you're welcome to let your eyes close. Or just soften your gaze, relax your face. And bring your attention to your breath. And take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, breathe down into the hips, down into the legs. Get grounded in your seat. And as you inhale, grow tall, lengthen through the spine. Breathe lots of space in between the ribs. Lots of space around the heart, on all sides, the back of the heart, the armpits. Keep lengthening through the throat and the crown. And keep that inner lift, that fullness, as you exhale and relax the shoulders onto the back of the heart. And just take these first few moments to allow your mind and body to arrive here, in this moment. Trying to not worry about the past or think about the future, and just being right here in this body, watching your breath, noticing parts of the body that move naturally as you breathe, the ribs, the chest, the pelvis. Maybe notice parts of the body that feel a little sticky or tight, or like they're holding. Just try to soften just a little. And today we're going to play with a heart-centered breath exercise. So starting at the base of your spine, or the base of your pelvis, inhale from the base of your pelvis up into the heart space, and exhale, push out in all directions. So the sides of your body, the back of your heart, your exhale is really pushing out. So inhale from the pelvis up into the heart, and like a shiny beam of light, exhale, push, and really let it push and expand through the walls, through your town, into space, into the universe. Inhale from the pelvis up into the heart. Exhale, push it out. This time, inhale from the crown of the head down into the heart. Exhale, push it out. You can think of a word maybe that you like. Inhale from the crown of the head down into the heart. Peace. Inhale from the crown of the head down into the heart. Kindness. Push it out. Now we're going to combine the two. Inhale from the pelvis and the crown of the head into the heart space. Exhale, push it out. Compassion. Inhale, base of the spine, crown of the head into the heart, center. Exhale, push it out. Safety. Inhale, base of the spine, crown of the head into the heart. Push it out. Exhale. Health. So take a normal breath in and a normal breath out. I'm going to teach you Fearless Heart Mudra. So cross your wrists, hook your pinky finger, skip the middle finger, the ring finger. So the ring finger and the thumb are touching. And then you bring that to your heart, and you can have the two peace fingers kind of just pointing straight up. Or you can also hook those fingers, which this is kind of a lot for your hand. So if you can hook the pinkies, touch the ring and thumb, and that's good. And bring that to your heart. Fearless Heart Mudra. And I'm going to share with you the metta phrases. May I be happy and peaceful. May I be healthy and strong. May I be safe and protected. May I live with ease. Just take one more breath here. Unwind the hands and bring your hands together in prayer in front of your heart. And we'll start class with one Om today. And I really encourage you to make sound if you're in a space where you can do that. Inhale, stretch your arms up to the sky. And Om as you bring your hands to your heart. Om. And bow your head to your heart. And release your hands. All right, so today we're going to start on our back with a little bit of core work. So we're kind of building strength in our core, and we're going to do a little back bending today, open our hearts. So a towel or a blanket, and you'll open it about this wide and roll it up just a little bit. It really depends on how thick your blanket is and how tight you are in your chest. So this little bit might be enough unless you already know you like a bigger roll. So this is going to go across the back of your shoulders. So you'll kind of start with the roll kind of high on your shoulders, hand behind your head. I want you to imagine that this blanket is grabbing your shoulder blades and pulling them down towards your hips. So you lift your hips, pull your shoulders over the roll, and then bring your bum back down to the floor. And you want to be where your arms can be over the roll. They can be straight out, or you can have like this cactus arm. And you want to be comfortable. It is a stretch, but you don't want to be where your head is cranking to touch the floor. So if your head is like this and you can't quite touch the floor, unroll it. It doesn't have to be such a big roll. So take your first couple breaths here. Your knees can be bent. Take a deep breath into the chest. This is one of my favorite heart openers. This is a back bend, and just doing this in the morning or at night can be really beneficial, especially today when we're on the computers so much, reaching forward, bending forward. So a couple of breaths here. Take your feet a little bit wide and just kind of windshield wiper the knees side to side. And you can let your head roll side to side if that feels good too. And then stretch the legs long. Bring the hands behind the head. flex the feet. So you want to have really strong, powerful legs, really pushing into the ground. So this is some core work here. So lift your head with your hands, look down at your ribs, and pull your ribs down towards the floor. You want to think about your ribs really plugging into the earth back here, and then stretch from your ribs down through the legs. Use the power of your legs to help you with this core work. So really pushing the legs down, stretching them long, and you're playing with lifting your shoulders off the blanket as much as you can. And then your inhale is a little backing off. And then exhale, you try to lift your shoulders off the blanket as far as you can. Try to keep your head leaning back into the hands. You're not just pulling on your neck. So we're really trying to get deeper in the core here. Inhale, back off. Exhale, lift your shoulders off the roll. Belly muscles move down. A lot of times when we do core work, we kind of bulge our belly out. So try to pull it down and then stretch long. Inhale. So you can keep going like this at your own pace. If you want a little add-on, when you lift your shoulders, let your right leg hover. And just pause there, really squeeze the belly muscles down, stretch your leg long and powerful. Inhale, a little backing off. Exhale, optional to have the leg hover. It's a super strong leg, belly muscles down. Inhale to back off. And then one more add-on, so you can play with the hover and stay there, or tuck into a tiny little ball, squeeze as tiny as you can, lift your shoulders off the blanket. Keep the shoulders up as you extend, and then bring it back down. So just take a couple more rounds, whichever version you're playing with, and really playing with quality, not quantity. Stretch it long. Maybe one more each side, or even if the legs are not coming up. Exhale, really squeeze. Make your feet work, spread the toes. And when you feel like you've had enough, just let your hands go. You can come back to this windshield wiper, shake it out a little bit. And then roll to your side so you can move the blanket roll out of your way. And come back onto your back. Just take another second there to kind of feel the effects. That was a little bit of a back bend. Feel how your back feels. A little bit of core work. And then take your arms straight out with the palms down. So you're pushing your handprints into the floor to help root the shoulders down. Bring the feet up into tabletop so the knees are right over the hips. And make your feet work. So flex the feet, spread the toes. Take a deep breath in. Try not to tuck in too much. I tend to do that. You want to do your best to have the knees right over the pelvis. And play with that same core work where the belly muscles are moving down to the floor. Even think about stretching them wide. So from here, take your knees over to the right, but they're just going to hover. So go as far as you can where you can let the legs hover. Keep rooting the left shoulder down. So you should feel a little stretch in the waist. You're also working your belly muscles here. Inhale, come back to center. Use the arms to help you. Shoulders rooting, hands pushing down. Exhale to the other side. So really pushing that opposite shoulder. My knees are going left. Right shoulder's pushing down. Keep going. Some of you can come super low and do like a teeny tiny little hover right above the floor, or you can keep it a little bit higher, either way. Also, if you want a little more, extend one leg. So my right leg's extending, legs go to the left, so the top leg can straighten. And kind of play with that little moment of like your spot where you feel work. And just linger there for a wee second and come back. So you can play with the legs bent, one leg straight, or if you want even more, both legs can go straight. Take it as far as feels good to you. Pause in that little spot where you feel work. Use the shoulders, ground them down. Maybe one or two more. Root the shoulders, breathing. Work your feet. And then come back to center. And then bend the knees. Pull the knees in. Just do some big circles with your hips and your knees. Go both ways. And then getting up to hands and knees. So however you get there, if you like to rock and roll, just warmed up your core. This is more core work. Or if you like to roll to your side, make your way to hands and knees. And if you need some padding on your knees, you take your blanket for a little extra padding for your knees. I like to do that. So take your hands pretty wide on your fingertips. So your elbows are pointing out to the side. And you're thinking about sort of like cat and cow, but in the chest. So take the elbows wide, squeeze the shoulders together on the back. You can reach your chin forward a little bit. And then exhale, do the opposite. Push the floor away, shoulder blades come apart and bowing in. So initiating this movement in the upper back, squeeze the shoulders, really work the back strength. Reach the chin if that feels okay. Exhale, bow in, shoulder blades come apart. One more like that. And this time, stay down with your elbows wide and think about a shimmy. So drop the right shoulder down and the left shoulder goes up. So one shoulder down, one shoulder up, elbows still wide. I kind of turn my head a little bit. And then switch. So drop one shoulder down and one shoulder up. And then maybe one more each side. Just go at your own pace. No rush. And then we'll turn this into a chest circle. So scooping the chest down to the floor, rounding up towards the sky. Again, play with leading with the heart, leading with the chest. Other parts of the body will move, the hips, the ribs, the head. But start the movement in the heart space. And go both ways. You're ready to switch directions. And then coming back to hands and knees and walk your handprints forward for puppy pose. So stretch the arms out, really push the handprints down. Think about there's like a pokey cactus under your armpit and you don't want to touch it. So your arm bones are strong and pulling up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together on the back like you just did in that hands and knees chest dipping. And slowly let your heart soften towards the floor. Bring your attention to the ribs. Pull the ribs in the body. And some of you can get your chest on the floor, your chin on the floor. That's not necessary, but if that's okay for you, that's fine. As long as you're really strong in your arms, pull the ribs in the body. Keep the containment in the core and the pelvis. And try to open your upper back and your chest as much as you can. And then from here, scoop through. So just scooping your heart, dragging it along the earth as close as you feel good. And then coming up either into cow, so you can kind of stay more on hands and knees as you scoop through. Or if you like to come lower into a cobra and then curl back. So play with these scoop throughs. As you pull your chest through, really try to keep shoulders behind you in the back plane of your body. And keep your handprints super anchored. Really plug the fingers and knuckles and pads of your hands into the earth. And just go with your breath. Feel free to close your eyes. So the next time you're down, come all the way onto your belly. So keep pulling the ribs up into the body. Inhale into locust. So your hands are just hovering. Really think about squeezing the elbows towards the ribs, squeezing the shoulders together on the back. If you like to bring the legs up, you can. So you're squeezing, get super strong in the core so you can get really open in the heart, and the back strength is working really hard. And then push your handprints down and just start to lift up the heart into cobra as the legs come down. It doesn't have to be super big. Exhale, come all the way down, let your forehead tap the earth. So we're going to do 2 more like that. Inhale, locust. Squeeze the shoulders onto the back. Squeeze the elbows. Use the arms to help you lift up. And then handprints push down. Keep the ribs in the body as you lift your heart. Lots of core strength here to contain that and not just break in the rib cage. Exhale, let your forehead tap the earth. 1 more. Inhale, squeeze the shoulders. Squeeze the elbows. Optional to lift the legs. Handprints push down. Keep the back strength as you lift your chest a little bit more. Exhale, let your forehead tap the earth. Tuck your toes, come up to hands and knees. And stretch back, downward facing dog. So bend the knees a lot to start. Reach the hips up. The first downward dog of the class. Have any little wiggles that you like to do. Nice. Maybe look under your arm. Walk your hands to your feet, forward fold at the back of your mat. Just bend your knees as much as you need to. So your hands can touch the floor, or you have your blocks here under your hands. Lift and spread the toes, legs super strong. Keep reaching your sit bones up, your tailbone's reaching up, but your legs can be bent, that's fine. Let your head dangle. Come halfway up on your inhale. Keep pushing down from behind the ribs into the legs as you start to open your heart. Let the collarbones smile. Exhale, fold all the way in. Really empty the air completely. And 2 more. Push through the legs, nice strong legs. Inhale, halfway up. Your hands can be on blocks or your shins. Exhale, take your time. Let your heart lead the way. And the head bows last. Push down through the legs. Make them strong and powerful. 1 more. Halfway up, inhale. Shoulders on the back plane of the body. Exhale, folding in. Walk your hands forward, plank pose. Strong handprints, deep breath in. Exhale, take your time, work your arm strength, come all the way down. It's fine to bring the knees down, but push, 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 strong arms. Inhale, 2 rounds of the locust and the cobra. So squeeze the shoulders on the back. Push the handprints down. Lift your heart a little bit more. Cobra. Exhale, come all the way down. Your forehead taps. Inhale to locust. Squeeze the muscles on the back side. Really work the muscles all along your spine. Push your handprints down. Keep going. Lift your chest just a little more. Exhale, let your forehead tap the earth. Tuck your toes. Inhale, hands and knees. Take downward dog when you're ready. No rush getting there. Really work on a nice strong core and strong low back. So you're trying not to round your back here. Do your best to keep your pelvis reaching up as high as it can go. Take another breath in. Long breath out. Push down into the hands, down into the feet. Walk your hands to your feet, forward fold at the back of your mat. Once you get there, just recheck your feet, lift and spread the toes. Feel your arches pulling into the foot. Come halfway up, inhale. Fold on your exhale. One more. Really trying not to rush this movement. Let your heart lead the way. Inhale. Kind of pause at the top of your breath. Linger for a moment. Exhale. Bow all the way in. Push all the air out. Take one more round of that locust. Walk your hands forward to plank. Deep breath in. Get really powerful in your muscles. And then come down slowly. Think about the muscles are moving up to the sky as your body moves down to the floor. Locust on your inhale. Squeeze all the muscles on the back. Handprints push down and lift your heart. Keep the ribs in the body. Pulling the ribs in is going to make for a smaller back bend, most likely. But we want to move the back bend into the upper back and keep it out of the low back. Exhale, come all the way down. And then make a pillow with your hands. Just take a rest there. Nice big belly breath. Feel your belly and ribs push into the ground. You can make sound as you exhale. Maybe open the jaw. Relax your face. Wiggle the hips a little bit. Okay. Handprints next to your ribs. Inhale. Hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Let's take a breath here. Relax your jaw. You could even do puppy pose here. And from here, walk your hands to the top of the mat. Walk your feet to the top of the mat. Forward fold at the top of your mat. Halfway up on your inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, step your right foot back. So we're coming to a lunge, low lunge. Let the back knee come down. So it's still fine to have that blanket there if you need that padding. And if you need blocks, they go under your shoulders here. Otherwise, you're on your fingertips to the floor. So just take that first breath to find your lunge, find your shape. Front shin is right in the ankle. And then we'll move with the breath here. Inhale, open your heart. Really try to get the shoulders behind you. Exhale, half splits. So pull your left toes back as you pull your hips back. Don't worry about straightening this leg. Keep reaching your hips up and pulling your heart forward. A lot of times I see this, a straight leg and a round back. So I'd rather have a bent knee and a strong back where you have this natural curve in the back here. So a couple rounds, inhaling forward. Exhale, pull the hips back and go slow. Notice at the point where your back and your hips want to curl in. That's kind of where you got to slow down and pause. Good. Okay. From here, bring your hands to your thigh, coming upright. Think about ribs pulling back. You can imagine like a feather's tickling your belly. And then take your arms up to the sky. Inhale. So you want to have shoulders and hips and knee pretty much in alignment here, so we're not way forward. And then a side bend. Grab your right wrist and pull it to the left. So you're pulling away towards this front leg. Breathe lots of space into this right side. Lots of space into each rib. Good. Good. Come back to center. Inhale. Hands behind the head. Squeeze the shoulders onto the back of the heart. Pretend you have that blanket there at the back of your heart. Drag your legs towards each other. That's going to help with the core strength. Your legs will really help. And then start to push the head back into the hands and curl back. Really powerful legs. Keep the ribs in the body. And pretend you have that blanket there. You're curling over the blanket. Lean the head back. And then both hands to the floor, right under your shoulders. Step forward into standing split. So you're stepping all the way into that left foot. Right leg, reach it up as high as feels good. Stretch your legs apart. Bend that top leg so the heel comes to your bum. And just play with reaching the knee a little higher. Don't open the hip. Keep the foot like you're trying to make a footprint on the ceiling. Keep pulling the heel towards your bum, and halfway up, inhale, pull the heart forward. Exhale, fold back in, right foot down. Pause there, just mindfully placing that foot. Deep breath in, stay here. If you like to grab your elbows, you can. If you like to have a little jiggle. Then halfway up, inhale, really push through the footprints. Left foot back into that low lunge. So big step back knee down. Pull the blocks right under your shoulders, or your hands right under your shoulders. Watch out for going too wide. Take the blocks really wide. So pull the hands right under the shoulders. And just take this first breath here. And then when you're ready to move, open the heart as your hips are forward. Exhale, slowly pull the hips back. Pull the toes back too. And just go at your own pace. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, half splits. Feel free to linger. And then back to your lunge, hands on your thigh. Bowing in. So you really think about pulling the ribs off the leg, pushing from behind the ribs down into the floor. Take the arms up for your side bend. Pull to the right towards this front leg. Keep pushing that left knee down, that whole left side. Lots of space there, lots of breath. And then hands behind the head, come more upright. Drag the legs towards each other. So you're really using the power of the legs to help support your back bend here. So from behind the ribs, you're pushing down through the floor. Inhale, get the shoulders behind you. And then start to lean the head back. It doesn't have to be big, but super clear and intentional. Containing the ribs, keep them in. Roll the shoulders back, let the head lean back. And then hands are right under your shoulders. Pushing the weight into that front foot for standing splits. Hands can step forward. Stretch your left leg up as high as you can. So I'm bending my bottom leg. Try to get the ribs closer to the thigh. And then straightening that top leg more. If you straighten the bottom leg, a lot of times we get that rounding in the back. So I'm a big fan of just letting that bottom leg, letting the knees be bent a lot. Then this top leg, heel to your bum, but point the knee higher up to the sky and come halfway up on your inhale. So blocks are really handy for this one. Couch or something next to you is also helpful, or you could be on your fingertips. And then exhale, folding in. Let the left foot come down. Take a little rest here. If you want to take your feet a little bit wider, you like to do a little sway. So take a little yogi's choice. If you like to clasp your hands behind, just let your hips sway. And then bring those feet back into alignment if you took them a little bit wide. Bring your hands to your hips. Squeeze the elbows towards each other so you really feel the strong back muscles squeezing together. Pull the ribs into the body and come to standing with a nice, strong, powerful body. And then bring one hand to your heart, one hand on your belly. Just take a moment here, standing tall and strong. And feeling maybe your heartbeat. Just pausing to soften so you can feel sensation in the body. Maybe noticing the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe. And we're going to play with sort of that core work that we did on the floor, but we're going to do it standing. So bring your hands behind your head. Trying to find a good place to stand. So look down at your feet. Hands are behind your head. So pretend you're on your back with that blanket up here at your shoulders. Pull the ribs into the body and push down through the legs. So you're trying to keep the ribs super strong. As you inhale, squeeze the shoulders into that imaginary blanket and start to lean the head back. Trying to make this core work. So keep the ribs in, push down through the legs as you curl back. And then exhale, sort of you're backing off and curling in. Inhale, do a couple of those. So ribs pulling in, push down through the legs, shoulders back, ears back. Exhale, a little bit of a regroup. Try to keep pushing your head into your hands even as you curl in. So one more like this. Inhale. Lean back. Exhale, curl in. Shift your weight to the left and hover the right leg. So balance. Pull that right knee into the belly so you're coming into a tiny little ball. You can let the hands go or leave them there. It's up to you. And then slowly stepping back into crescent pose. So just playing with balance. It's no big deal if you have to step out. Let it be a little playful. Eventually you're stepping all the way back into a lunge. Stretch the arms up to the sky. So inhale, back off. You can stretch the legs and reach up like you're grabbing a stretchy band. And then exhale, squeeze the elbows towards the ribs. Squeeze the shoulders on the back and bend this bottom leg. So two more. Inhale, stretching up, ribs in the body. Exhale, squeeze the shoulders on the back. Maybe lift your heart a little more. The back knee can bend. Whoop. One more. Inhale, stretch it up. Exhale, squeeze. Hover that bottom leg. And then come back to reaching up, hands behind the head. Pull the ribs in the body, shoulders back. We did this on our knee, and it's fine to bring the knee back down if that works better for you. or you play with that back knee up, curl back. Bring the hands onto the thigh in front of you. Shift your weight forward into this front foot. Keep reaching your heart forward. So you can leave the hands here on your leg. You can bring the hands to your blocks. Play with lifting that back leg. And bending it, bring the heel to your bum. Pull the heart forward. And then right foot down, forward fold, rest. So you can let the hips sway, whatever you like here. Grab your elbows. You could rest in a squat if that feels good to you. Take about 3 or 4 breaths of your choice. Eventually come back to standing, however you get there. Look down at your feet, lift and spread the toes. Bring your hands behind your head. Inhale, lean back just a little like you have that blanket behind you. We're going to go right into second side. Exhale, looking down at the legs, pull the ribs in, shift your weight to the right, hover the left. Tuck the knee in to a tiny little ball. Hands can stay here or you can let them go. And then play with stepping back into your lunge. So I bend the front leg. I just slowly lean forward as I reach my back leg back. And if you don't quite make it, no big deal. Take a couple steps to arrive. Crescent pose. Arms up, inhale. And then play with those lunges. So exhale, bending the knees, both knees bend. Pull, really work on pulling the elbows towards each other, towards the ribs back here. Inhale, stretching up. Imagine you have like a stretchy band. Squeeze and pull. Make your arms work really hard. One more like that. Squeeze and pull. Really lift the heart. Hands behind the head. Keep going. Lift your chest. Ribs in the body. Ears back. One more breath. Inhale. Relax your face. Exhale. Hands on your thigh, getting ready for warrior 3. So hands can go on your blocks, on your thigh. Some of you can hover the arms. Back legs reaching back. Knee and toe point down. And then just a little variation, play with the knee bent. And lift your heart. If you want to play with lifting the hands too, think about that locust we did on our belly. And then both feet down when you've had enough. Shake it out. Whew! You guys are working really hard. I'm really sweaty. But when I think of resilience, I think of strength, and building strength helps create courage. And we become a little less fearful when we're strong. Also, having a strong core really helps assist in an open heart. So we're working core strength and heart opening today. So come to standing when you're ready. We're going to play optional with the strap. So dancer pose, also getting near a wall or a chair in front of you might be helpful because we're balancing. So 2 ways to play. Without the strap, grab your right foot, like the top of the foot here. Or if you're using your strap, you hook it around the toes, like so. So pulling your heel towards your bum. Have your thumb and your palm be open as you grab your strap. And again, it's totally fine to use a wall. I'm going to use one. So if you have your strap, if you're holding your foot, that's fine. You hold your foot. If you're using the strap and you want to play with arm over head version, let your hand slide away until you can bend your elbow and bring your hand towards your shoulder. Then point your elbow up to the sky. You want your armpit right by your face. So my hand is kind of walking down towards my foot this way. So that might be enough. Some of you might be able to have both hands on the strap there. Little soft bend in the bottom knee, hug into your midline. So we're playing with dancer pose, any variation. If you're working the strap this way, you want to start to walk your hands down, 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 down. Keep the ribs in the body and keep lifting your heart. And this will work too with hand on the foot, no strap. So whatever you're playing with, we're balancing. Play with balance. Play with core strength, keeping the ribs in. And play with lifting the heart, really getting the shoulders behind you. And when you've had enough, come out. You don't have to wait for me. Little bend in that bottom leg. You can start to kick the top foot into the strap. Work really hard to squeeze the shoulders into the back of the heart. Whew. We've had enough. Step out. Slowly shake it out. Maybe hip circle, whatever you need there. So working hard to keep the core strong so you can open the upper back and chest. So second side, either grabbing your foot or taking the strap around the toes. Thumb open, palm open when you grab your strap. Then bring that heel towards your bum. Hand towards the shoulder. Point the elbow up to the sky. So if you've got your wall or your couch or your chair and you want to play with balance, you just slowly let go and retouch as needed. Bend this bottom leg a little bit as you start to kick back. If you want to reach both hands back, slowly over time, you're walking your hands down, 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 closer to the foot. If arm over head version isn't working for you, no big deal. Balance here. Quad stretch. Think about lifting your heart, keeping the ribs in. Play with balance. Are you breathing? Long exhale. Great. Okay. Let that go. Good work. Okay, you can let your strap go. Shake it out. And come onto your belly with your blanket. I'm going to do one more here before we kind of cool down. So blanket roll, kind of like how we did earlier. This is going to go kind of on your pelvis. And a big roll is fine. You can kind of see how you like it and adjust. So the roll is going kind of on your belly, your low belly. The hip points are under the roll. or maybe like right on top of the roll. So you can be here locust pose or Sphinx pose. Watch out for just letting your ribs kind of sag. My body tends to do that. So a little bit of work, keep the belly muscles pulling up into the body. Stretch through the legs. So here's part one. And the roll is just kind of helping you stay up a little bit. If you want to come into bow pose, come down to, bring your forehead to your hands. Bend the knees and flex the feet. And then think about that locust. Inhale, really strong back muscles. So here's part one. Part two is you grab the ankles. Shoulders squeezing onto the back. Keep the feet flexed. It's just a variation. And part three is you kick your feet back and try to keep the thighs and knees on the ground. So the blanket roll is hopefully helping you kind of stay upright. And then please rest as needed. And if you've had enough of all of that, move the blanket out of the way. You can rest here. You want to keep playing a little bit, that's fine too. And then from here, make your way to seated. And you can sit on your blanket just to have a little bit of an elevation under your bum if it's kind of challenging for you to sit up straight with the legs out. So stretching the legs out. Pull the right heel in towards your right sit bone and sit up nice and tall. The left leg is stretching nice and strong and straight. Right hand behind, and you can kind of grab this left thigh, so we're twisting. Or if you like to hook your elbow around the thigh, you can do that too. But working on a nice strong back, so you want to have the low back moving in its lumbar curve. You want that natural curve. If your lumbar curve is rounding, then bring more things under your bum to lift your hips. Breathe into the right and left lungs equally. Really feel your heart get expansive. You can think about that breath we did at the very beginning, inhaling into the heart space and really pushing it out on your exhale, letting it shine out into space. And you can come back to whatever word or intention really resonates with you. Exhale. And one more breath here. Try to relax your muscles around your eyes. And take your time to unwind, come back to center. Stretch that right leg long. Just take one breath here with both legs out. Deep breath in. Long breath out. And then second side, pull that left heel all the way as close as it can go to that sit bone. Take your right arm up to the sky. A left arm behind, and then exhale, twist. Relax your face. So try to keep both shoulders behind you. A lot of times in a twist, we kind of round. So do your best to back off if you need to and really get that shoulder on the back plane of your body. And look wherever feels good to you. Maybe you want to look straight ahead or look over one shoulder or the other. I also like to kind of roll my head around a little bit when I'm twisting. And let your exhale be longer than your inhale. Relax the muscles around your eyebrows, Relax your jaw. Let your breath, your inhale be full. And your exhale complete. Really push all the air out. And slowly unwind. Take one more seated pose here. Feet together, knees apart, Baddha Konasana. And you can grab the ankles. Still good to be sitting on something. You can grab the ankles and use that to help you sit tall. I like to kind of hold the ankles and then do my best to sit tall, rather than kind of pulling the toes, which people tend to do that. So grab ankles, sitting tall. If you're someone who likes to fold forward, you can do that here as well. But sitting tall might be enough for you today. If you have your couch nearby or a couple blocks, you might get to a place where you can let your head land on a prop nearby. So if you like that. And then inhale, unwind. We're gonna finish with a legs up the wall variation. So if you have a wall, you can bring your bum to the wall. You're on your side and you swing your legs up so they're resting on the wall. If you have a chair, if you're or a bed, I'll show you what that could look like. So same idea, but the legs would be bent. If you don't have any of those things, you can lay on your back and just have the legs kind of go straight up and relax them. And we'll be there for about 2 minutes with the option of staying there for Shavasana. So make sure you get comfortable. Really take the time to get comfy and cozy. So feet resting on an ottoman or a chair, or legs straight up the wall. You can bring your hands on your belly or take your arms out to the side. So whatever feels comfortable for you. Really give yourself a moment to kind of let your bones settle into the earth. Relax your toes, relax your fingers. Try to relax your hips and pelvis. Feel your femur bones, your leg bones, really kind of just dropping deep into the pelvis. Not a lot of effort to hold them up. And take a deep breath in. And let it go. And let go again. And if you need to put a blanket over your body, or if you have an eye pillow or something to put over your eyes, it's really nice to do in this kind of winding down, resting pose. Really long exhale, let gravity help you soften and settle into the earth. Relax your jaw and your tongue. And if you're feeling good in this pose, you can stay for a few more minutes and let that just kind of move right into Shavasana. Or if you want to do regular Shavasana, make your way there very slowly. Resting in stillness. Breathe into your belly, your lungs, and your heart. As you exhale, gently wiggle fingers and toes. And reach your arms overhead, take a lazy stretch. And bend your knees, rest on your side. And take your time coming to seated as you're ready, sitting tall. And we'll do the Fearless Heart Mudra. So crossing your wrists, hook your pinky, and bring the ring and thumb together. And the pointer, peace fingers can point straight up, or you hook middle finger and pointer finger. So bringing that to your heart. Inhale from the base of the spine up into the heart. Exhale, may I be happy and peaceful. Inhale from the crown of the head down into the heart. Exhale, may I be healthy and strong. And both together, inhale from the base of the spine, crown of the head into the heart space. May I be safe and protected. Unwind the hands, prayer at your heart. May all beings benefit from your yoga practice. Thank you for joining me. Namaste.